beauties, it's Brittany. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for joining me today. If you do enjoy this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe down below. This look today is very much inspired by the Zodiac collection. KathleenLights and ColourPop collaborated on this, and if you've been watching my channel, I am obsessed with this Dream Street palette. I use it all of the time. The only downside to this palette is that it didn't have a mirror, and they went ahead and fixed that with this palette. Not only am I super excited about this collaboration because it's KathleenLights and it's ColourPop, so it's perfect, but it's also Zodiac themed, and while I don't follow the Zodiac world to a T, I am super fascinated by it, and if you were curious, I'm a Leo, and I'm very happy with her Leo shade in here. I'm so excited and inspired by all of these colors. I'm also super inspired by this artist that I follow on Instagram. I will have her account listed in the information bar below, as well as her post. You should definitely follow her. I saw this post even before this collaboration was released, I believe, and I was just so enthralled with it. I screenshotted it and I was like, one day I will recreate that look. And I was looking at this palette, and I think I might actually be able to use the colors in this palette to get this exact look. She's much more talented than I am, so I'm not going to be able to get it to the letter, but I will definitely try my best. I'm so inspired by this look. There are a few pieces to this collaboration. One I already kind of showed you is the beautiful, beautiful eyeshadow palette. So obsessed with all of these colors. Cannot wait to use the Pisces. Also, there are two lip colors associated with this collaboration, the Scorpio Moon and What's Your Sign. There are two cream highlighters as well, Fire and On the Cusp. And then two cream shadows. We have the shade Constellation and Astrology. I'm much more enthralled with the Constellation one because it's like this beautiful rose gold, and kind of obsessed with rose gold, but I'm definitely excited to play with both of them, and I am excited to try this look, so let's go ahead and give it a try. Alright, one eye is done. It doesn't look great yet, but I think it's going okay. I first started with a little bit of the Taurus. I just kind of messily put this all over the crease, kind of into the tear duct, up into the brow bone area, not right into the brow bone, but kind of up pretty far. Then I just kind of cleaned that same brush off, and I went into the Libra. Such a beautiful color. These shadows are a bit dusty, and I think a little more dusty than the Dream Street, just for reference. I'm kind of just sweeping this all over the lid, also into the crease, kind of covering up what I just did with the Taurus, but I feel like I need that step anyways. Kind of deepens it up. Going out pretty far, I want the outer area to be kind of smoky. I'm pulling it out past where my eyelid ends. And that's just kind of the base. And now this was the tricky part. This orange was not as vibrant as I thought it was going to be. I had to kind of play around with adding Fix Plus to it. And the orange I'm talking about is the Aries shade. So I'm using a short shadow brush like the Sigma E55. And I'm going to spray my brush with Fix Plus, and I'm going to start to kind of buff this out on the outer corner. I'm not worrying about any fallout, that's why I did my shadows first. It's performing much better on this eye for some reason, probably because I had a little bit of practice with it. I'm going to put it on the inner corner as well. I'm going to kind of leave that center area pretty empty. I'm going to go in with the Leo there. Don't even have to worry about bringing this into the crease very far. I'm going to blend a bit here with a Sigma E40. I want a little bit of depth in that outer corner, so I'm going to go in with the Virgo. Kind of going back and forth between a bunch of different size brushes to blend things out. I normally like to just only dirty like one or two brushes, but with a complicated look like this, you really need to switch back and forth so that colors don't get mixed together. And back in with the orange. And intensify that a little bit, bring it up a little higher even, and out a little more. It can get really easy to kind of feel like you're being defeated with eyeshadow, especially if you start without foundation, because your face just looks totally different. But I've come to have faith that my eyeshadow will look totally different once I have foundation on. I went into this BH Cosmetics palette that I have. It's like their Galaxy palette, and I used a little bit of this orange right here because I felt like it was a little bit lighter and I needed just a little less depth and a little more brightness. Now for the tricky part. I'm going to do a little bit of concealer in the center of the lid there so that the Leo shade I'm going to use really kind of stands out. I'm doing concealers like this. I really like to use a very tiny definer brush and dip it into my concealer, dip off excess concealer on a tissue, and then pop it right where I want it. I like to do a little bit of opening my eye as well because I have hooded eyelids, so I need to make sure that when I open my eye, things are kind of where I want them to be. Now I'm going to take the Leo shade on a tiny concealer-like brush and be afraid to pack on the color there, and then I'm going to spritz my brush with Fix Plus. I love Fix Plus. You could use like glitter glues and things like that as well. I'm just a fan of Fix Plus. Okay, this eye is performing so much better. See, with just a little bit of practice will get you. I'm also thinking maybe there was like an overlay on the shadows that was making them not pop as much, because they look totally different on this eye. I did the same primer on both eyes, and I didn't set my primer today. I just went in with the shadows. Going back to that bright orange from the BH Cosmetics palette, I'm going to kind of marry these two shades together. Take my finger for the Leo shade and just pack it on. Sorry, I'm flipping you off. I don't mean it like that. I lost a bit of my Virgo on that outer corner, so I'm going to take that. And now for the super tricky part, this kind of mint right in the crease there. I played around with a few things for this. First, I went in with the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer to kind of cut that area out. Then I went in with the Supernova Shadow in Constellation and added a little bit of that, and then went in with Pisces because I felt like it needed something to kind of adhere to. So I'm going to play around with both of those options again to hopefully mimic what I did on the other side. Primer today, I'm going to use the SOS Primer by Clarins. I got this for myself for my birthday. It's supposed to kind of help with the look of fatigue, but also fill in pores, which is what I'm looking for. I want to look alive, and I want to look porcelain. Because her skin is super glowy in the picture that I was referring to earlier, I really want to get that similar effect, so I'm going to use a little bit of MAC Strobe Cream, this on the high points of my face, but also just kind of all over. Blending that out with a Morphe Y10. While I let that kind of sink into my skin, I think I'm going to move on to brows for a minute. I'm just going to use the Anastasia Brow Wiz in Caramel. Her brows are super, super fluffy, so I'm going to try to give mine a similar effect. I did also just get my brows done the other day, and I'm having a reaction because that's what happens when I get my brows done. I just can't avoid it. Today for foundation, I'm going to use my Dior Backstage in the shade 0N. Just put a little bit on the back of my hand, and then dot the product onto my face. For these pesky blemishes, I'm going to use the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define in the shade C2. Just going to kind of dot this everywhere. I'm going to switch between using my Artiste brush to blend it out and my Beauty Blender. For under eye concealer, I've been really enjoying the Hourglass Veil Concealer in the shade Fair. So I'm going to pop this under my eyes. I'm going to blend it out with a small fluffy brush and my Beauty Blender, just kind of going back and forth, same as the rest of the face. Real quickly, before I do anything else, I'm going to set under the eyes. I'm just going to be very, very precise with putting it right under the eyes because I'm going to use more liquid products everywhere else on the face, and I really just want to focus this powder under the eyes. The powder I use to do that is my Trusted Dusty Essence Banana Brighten Up Powder. I've been getting back into my Chanel Tan de Chanel, but I've actually been applying it in a different way than I have in the past. Estee talked about this on her channel, and I was like, yes, I like that. So I take a larger fluffy brush, and I'm more going to just warm up the complexion versus try to hardcore contour with this. I don't know why I always try to put those words together because it's very difficult to say. So I'm just going to warm up the complexion with my Chanel Tan de Soleil, you know, this thing, and a fluffy brush. I'm going to move back to the eyes for a little bit, and I'm just going to kind of focus on mirroring what I did on the top. On the bottom, I don't think I'm going to put any mint down there because I don't see it in her photo, but I will kind of see once I finish that lower lash. If I think I need some down there, I might. But I'm going to use the shade The Aries on that lower lash line. I'm also going to use a little bit of Virgo. I'm going to go back to that Galaxy palette from Beauty Cosmetics and use that shade Mars, just a very light orange. And I think I might actually pop a little bit of Constellation in the inner corner with Cancer. I'm going to go in with the cream highlighter in Fire. Mine was a little dented when I got it, but that's okay. I'm going to take my Beauty Blender and just pat it in there. It's kind of how I like to apply these. And I'm going to pinch my Beauty Blender blusher and try to just kind of pop it on. Oh my god, that is beautiful. I went with Fire because I'm a fire sign. This is giving me just the glow I was looking for. Love that. I think I'm actually, this might be risque. I'm going to take this and pop it right on the center of the lid. Kind of gave it a more of a wet look, and I love that. Alright, I am going to put a little bit of powder on the rest of my face just to kind of set everything. To add more warmth, I'm going to use my Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. Oh, this stuff smells so good. For blush today, I wanted to use Milani Luminoso because I haven't used it in a long time and it looks very similar to kind of what she's rocking on her cheeks. So take this. It's going to give a nice kind of peachy pink, pretty heavy. So just focusing right on the apples with most of the product and then kind of sweeping it back. Let's go ahead and set all of this before we move on to lashes and lips. I used the Flower Beauty Seal the Deal Matte Finish Spray, and then I'm going to use MAC Fix Plus. I'm going to go back in with a little bit of the Capricorn shade. I did this when I first did the look and just kind of lined the eyelashes, but I am going to use false lashes today, so I need this to be more prominent. This could be a horrible mistake, but I'm trying a new mascara for the first time. This is Essence Instant Volume Boost Mascara. Tati talked about this, so I got it. It says ready in 10 seconds. It's a smudge-proof and intense black, so let's see what she's got. I want more highlights, so I'm going to take Fire again with a brush this time and just kind of swirl my brush in the product and buff it into the skin. Oh yeah. Kind of going up pretty high, like right by the eye. No, there is no wrong way to apply those highlighters. By ColourPop, I've tried my fingers, I've tried beauty blenders, I've tried brushes, really everything works. I'm looking at this photo and her inner corner is like very, very orange, and I feel like I'm missing that. So I'm gonna go into the BH Cosmetics palette, take the shade Mars, wet my brush, try to kind of pack that there. Also, I just remembered she has mint in her waterline, so I'm gonna grab the Makeup Forever Aqua XL liner in the shade M30. To the lips for a moment, I'm going to use the Inglot lip liner in the shade 67. Then I'm going to take the shade What's Your Sign? I've actually never used these ColourPop lipsticks before, so I'm very excited. Well, that's definitely a true nude. I don't love nudes. I need like a light pink hint to my lip colors. Hers are a little pinker, so I might mix some things, but first I'm going to pop some mascara on the lower lashes. But that mascara is getting messy already. I don't love it. To kind of soften this dark nude up a little bit, I'm going to take the shade, oh my god, I just dug my nail into this palette. Add a little different dimension to this lip color. I'm going to take Scorpio Moon and see what I can do. This is going to be my favorite. Okay, that definitely helped. I want gloss, so I'm going to take the ColourPop gloss in the shade Moon Child. This was also part of a separate collaboration that they did together. It looks very brown at first, but it lightens up. I want like very glossy, juicy nude lips. I'm going to pop some false lashes on and I'll be right back. Alright guys, here is the completed look. Let's see how we think I did. Is it exact? No, but we have very different everything. She is beautiful. Make sure you guys follow her on Instagram. Her work is just amazing, but I'm so glad that she could inspire me today to create this look. Also, I'm super stoked about this collaboration between ColourPop and KathleenLights. Again, they've knocked it out of the water. When I was using it on this eye, it was behaving very oddly, but on this eye it was just perfect. Like, I had no problems, and it could have been that there was like a top layer that I just needed to kind of use, or it could just be a little bit of practice helped me kind of use the shadows to the best of my ability. But I am so in love with this look, and this highlighter in the shade Fire speaks to my soul on another level. In terms of the lip color, I probably won't use What's Your Sign on its own a lot, just because I'm so fair. I do need a little bit of pink to my lip color, so I'm actually going to add a little bit more. I feel like I need a little bit of pink in my nudes, and Scorpio Moon definitely helps out with that. Let me know if you guys are into Zodiac signs. I'm actually contemplating some kind of element sign tattoo. I really want a tattoo on my fingers, so I'm debating about that. I was thinking the triangle, which represents fire, because my moon sign and my traditional sign are both fire elements. So I was teetering on that idea, and it's super simple and not complicated, because it's hard to do a complex tattoo on your fingers. But let me know in the comments down below again what your element or what your sign are, and what you think of this look. Do you like that I kind of branched out and did something a little out of the ordinary? I hope you enjoyed. Give this video a thumbs up and let me know in the comments below.